All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video. Well, we're going to have to discuss the new allegations stemming from the Diddy case. People have been speculating for months that at some point Jay-Z's name would pop up in the mix because of his long relationship with Diddy. Now, at this point, we know all these things are allegations. There will have to be uh, argued in a court of law to determine what's what. But there is a deeper thing I want to discuss. And I want to start here. So bear with me. There was a mathematician called Pythagoras. And Pythagoras is attributed to Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, with a squared and b squared being known variables used to find out the unknown, which is c squared, meaning you use a and b to figure out what c is because c is unknown. Now, he's also attributed with discovering the octave. The octave is 8 melodies in harmony. 8 melodies in harmony. And it was discovered that an octave could penetrate your subconscious, meaning any songs or music that use the octave could penetrate your subconscious. Have you ever heard a song so many times that you repeat it even though you don't like the song? You find yourself singing it subconsciously, but you don't even like the song. But you hear it so many times that you just randomly start singing it yourself for no reason because you don't realize it has actually penetrated your subconscious. That's because it's an octave. Now, where am I going with this? We are the same people who produced a Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, Patti LaBelle, Temptations, Stevie Wonder, and the list can go on and on with these musicians. And now all of a sudden, you've developed an appetite for drill music, rap music, debaucherous music, music that totally surrounds the unaliving and destruction of your own people. Think about that. What would make a people listen to music about destroying themselves? Have you ever, if you walked into a room and you seen a room full of Asian people and they were listening to music saying, I hate Asians, I want to destroy Asians, I want to unalive Asians, you would look at those Asians and say, they're crazy. They're listening to music that is talking about destroying themselves. And they enjoy listening to that. You would find that strange. But you don't find it strange when you do it. Now, where am I going with this? Have you noticed that in your churches, you have your Kurt Franklins and your Yolanda Adams, and the music has become so similar to secular music that sometimes you can barely tell the difference because of the octave and the harmony. You have a lot of apostate preachers and false prophets in these churches that are misleading the people. I did a video the other day and said that the United States or the black community have more churches per square mile than any place in the world. Detroit alone has 3,932 churches and religious organizations in this one city. But the city is in chaos. The city is violent. The city is dangerous. The city is impoverished. You ask, where am I going with this? You've seen your politicians and your political people bring out Meg Thee Stallion to twerk for you at the DNC rally. Then she went and got Little John for another rally. Then she went and got Glorilla for another rally. Then she had Beyonce speak to you. She went and got Magic Johnson. What is the connection between these celebrities, the politicians, and the church? It seemed like some type of unholy triune that they have all of a sudden. With the music, with the false teachings and apostate preachers and the corrupt politicians. So we've been waiting for the revelations of the Epstein list and the Diddy list. And now Jay-Z's name has allegedly been attached to the Diddy case. Let me stop here and say this. This is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act, for commentary, education, and the First Amendment, because they like to censor these type of conversations. But what made them so angry at Trump for talking about a deep state and going after traffickers, and saying that he's going to make the Epstein list public so that the people can see whose name is on it? What has them leaving the country all of a sudden? These celebrities. What has them asking Biden for preemptive pardons? They want to be pardoned for things they haven't even been accused of yet. That's unheard of. A blanket pardon for something you may or may not be accused of. What has them so fearful? What has them so fearful that they're leaving the country? They want pardons. And think about this. Think about how this election cycle created the largest mental health crisis in American history, to where you have B4 movements and women shaving their heads and people alienating themselves from their families, and all the hostility and rhetoric and fear-mongering have people terrified of losing their benefits, their rights. Somebody has fear-mongered and told lies blatantly to the people. And we know what Jesus said about lies. He said the devil is the father of lies. And when he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own. But think of all the lies that were told to the American public leading up to this election cycle. Think of all the hysteria now that the Democrats have lost. Think of the fact that they had a Hindu woman cosplaying as a black woman for your votes, using celebrities to manipulate your mind. What's going on? See, you got to go back to Ephesians 6:11. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against wickedness and spiritual wickedness in high places. You're not wrestling against flesh and blood. You're wrestling against spiritual wickedness and evil in high places. And you think about what they say in Revelations about the mystery Babylon, how it became the habitat of every unclean spirit and foul bird. People are mad that their candidate didn't win, but their candidate was running on an agenda of late term termination of pregnancy all the way until the 8th and 9th month. Gender reassignment for children all the way to toddlers and 5-year-olds and being able to have gender reassignment surgeries at 8. Tampons in the boys' bathroom. Open borders for amalgamation. Think of what these candidates were running on. Why they were using these celebrities to bond you to that party. And now more and more is being revealed and more people are being in this net. Well, these were just some things I want you to think about before I got into the video clip. You know what I mean? Because you have to open your eyes that there's more going on than just politics. You're dealing with psychological warfare, spiritual warfare. You know, you were fighting in this battle for more than just country because they ran on an agenda that was anti-God and anti-country and anti-family. And what you're seeing is an upheaval, and these people are being exposed. So I'm not going to talk your ear off. Those were just some thoughts I had. We're going to get off into this clip. This is for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act, for commentary, educational purposes, and the First Amendment. Let's see what's going on with Jay-Z.
It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
In your public statements, you've mentioned 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 of them men and 2 of them women. Can you tell me where that's inaccurate?
You're right.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
All.
Were victims
They victims.
Or were perpetrating?
Victims.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
How did you end up in possession of these flash drives?
I ended up with the flash drive with a friend from a record label that I was, at the time I was recording in Atlanta. And I ran into a person that knew Kim Porter. So at the same time, she wanted to speak to her on the phone because she heard my voice. He said, "Who that? That's Courtney B." And then later on that night, he came over and gave me the flash drive.
Boy. We got to talk about a story that I have not talked about on my channel yet, at least not in any type of significant detail, because the story involving Diddy and his parties and all the things he was doing that, again, is ungodly in nature. It was kind of like, the sky's blue type of moment, right? It was like, okay, I think everybody kind of knew that this is what these Hollywood weirdos were into. The question for me was really about who is involved, right? Who else is involved with Diddy? Okay, we all know that Diddy allegedly, again, was sex trafficking. He was having these parties where he would drug people and get them to perform sexual acts that required so much physical exertion that they had to get IV fluids afterwards, okay? These things were called freak-offs, okay? Freak-offs. And sometimes they were videotaped without the victim knowing. And now...
And not to just really cast doubt on any situation or whatever, but Jay-Z took a picture that said, "Do what thou will," which was a saying of Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was the number one Satanist in America. Aleister Crowley used rituals, intimate type rituals, essay rituals that he would use to summon demons. Google Aleister Crowley and his sign, "Do what thou will." Jay-Z actually took a picture with that shirt on. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. But Jay-Z also made a song that you can find on YouTube called "Lucifer, Star of the Morning." Now, we all know, if you've read scripture, that the Lucifer in the Bible was a musician. He was an angel that was a musician that played instruments. So, I mean, there are a lot of coincidences we can just say are coincidence. But at what point do these things become a pattern? There's pictures of Jay-Z with the shirt, "Do what thou wilt," which is Aleister Crowley. Then he makes songs about Lucifer being the star of the morning. And then his wife with the beehive allegedly practices Wicca and is a witch. I mean, do we think that these Diddy parties and this debauchery doesn't have evil and supernatural connotations? Are we that naive? Because remember, the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing people he didn't exist.
He's been arrested by the feds. He's been held in jail after trying to get out on bail 3 times, but he's been denied all 3 times, and he's been charged with federal racketeering and sex trafficking. So, my question was not whether or not these things were happening, again, because we all know that some of these Hollywood widows into this stuff. It's about who else was into it, right? How deep does this go? Okay, and we are getting some hints in regards to who potentially was involved. That's also another big name celebrity, as Jay-Z has been sued for allegedly assaulting a 13-year-old girl along with Diddy. Take a look.
That involves both Jay-Z and Diddy now. This is an amended complaint accusing Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. This is a new civil filing, and we see the anonymous accuser here alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an MTV Music Video Awards after party. This lawsuit was originally filed in October, just today refiled to include Jay-Z. I mean, let's start with the basics here. What are you learning about this? What is standing out to you?
Well, what is standing out to me is she was very specific about several things. She describes the house, she describes the driveway, she describes the exact assault, what happened. She talks about various stages of things that occurred. And I think that this is good because this way it can either be corroborated or not corroborated. So she's painted herself in a corner.
Why add Jay-Z now? If this originally was filed back in October, why not do it then?
Very interesting question. I think, we're seeing the same attorney for many of these complainants. And I think we're going to see more and more people added. I think there's a lot that they were looking to prove, and maybe they didn't quite have what they thought they needed to file against Jay-Z initially.
Yeah, so Jay-Z used to have 99 problems. I think now he just has one, okay? He has one big problem, okay? Because he is now being dragged down with Diddy, and the walls are starting to close in on these Hollywood weirdos, right? Especially those in the rap industry, okay? I'm just waiting for the other names to come out, okay, to see who else was allegedly involved. But this is a big deal for Jay-Z because this guy has a ton of endorsements. He has a ton of business deals. And with these type of allegations, this guy's career could go under, right? Almost immediately, okay? Just as fast as they sunk Kanye, okay? So I don't know, man. This is not good. And Jay-Z seems to be in full-blown panic, okay? He released a strongly worded letter via Rock Nation denying these allegations. So Let's get into it.
Is rap and media mogul Jay-Z now accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this lawsuit was originally filed back in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as the defendant, but it was just refiled today to include Jay-Z now, whose real name is Sean Carter. Of course, he's the husband of Beyonce. The anonymous accuser alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an...
And these names, I mean, you know, when you look at Kamala Harris, the Hindu, cosplaying chameleon who wanted to be black, or didn't want to be black, just played like she was black, how she brought out Beyonce, how she brought out Megan Thee Stallion twerking, Little John, you know, the things that they actually have put in your face. You don't see the connections, how you see photos of Obama and Diddy and T.D. Jakes and Diddy and all these people wrapped up in this nefarious circle of power and money and influence. And do you really think it's all coincidence? Why are they terrified of Trump revealing the Epstein's list? Why are they terrified of Patel investigating the FBI? Why are they terrified of these things being found out? And you think about, like I said, the mass meltdown of the masses of people that supported that party. They are becoming unhinged. They sad. They broken because of the lies told by the Democratic Party. Who, unless under a spell, would actually vote for termination of pregnancies all the way up to the 8th and 9th month? Gender reassignment for children 8, 5, and 2 years old. Gender change for prisoners. Think about that. Corruption of the rainbow. Remember, the rainbow was God's promise to Noah as a sign in the sky. Now they've used the rainbow and made it a flag for something totally else, something totally different. Taking prayer out of schools. You people, stop thinking everything is a coincidence. Remember, I told you, the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing people he did not exist.
An after party following the MTV Video Music Awards. The suit says she was offered a drink that made her feel, quote, woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. Shortly after, the suit claims Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room where she was resting, eventually sexually assaulting her. And now, just in the last hour, we are hearing from Jay-Z and his team of lawyers. They are denying the claim and say that they are the victims of blackmail, saying, quote, I will not give you one red penny, and my only heartbreak is for my family.
Yeah, this is panic, right? This is full-blown panic right now. Okay, capital letters. I will not give you one red penny. Okay, so he's basically saying that he's being blackmailed. Now, who knows? All I'm saying is that what this accuser is saying seems to be consistent with some of the federal documents in regards to what allegedly went down, right? Especially when it comes to drugging people, okay? And they had all types of ways to do it. I mean, they were drugging people via the lotion. They were drugging people via the water, the drinks. I mean, it was some crazy stuff, right, that these people are into. So, you know, I don't know if it's true or not. I have no clue whatsoever. I'm just saying this guy is definitely in panic mode. If I was him, I would definitely be worried.
Joining us now to break this all down as it's happening, News Nation law and justice contributor, former FBI special agent Jennifer Coffendorfer. Jennifer, thanks for staying with us on this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And so we just received a response from the victim's lawyer, really just in the last few minutes. Take a look. This is on social media. A lawyer, Tony Busby, saying Jay-Z has, quote, tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff, but his conduct has had the opposite impact. He goes on to say that the allegations speak for themselves, and he will let the facts come out in court, not in the media. What do you make of this real-time back and forth that we're seeing between these two parties tonight?
Well, it is interesting, and I think it's because JC came out so strongly and said, listen, I'm going to go after you. And then he filed a suit quickly on the heels of the other suit against Busby and the accusers. So because of that, you're seeing this taunting sort of back and forth in the media.
Do you believe that we may see Jay-Z face a judge? And if so, when would we see him in court? Any indication there yet?
Well, we're definitely going to see him, I believe, on this suit. There are so many details. You know, they describe a house, a driveway, another woman being there. They discuss about a driver taking her. So she's locked into this story now, and that means there could be additional witnesses to corroborate her story or refute the story.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned the specificity of the details really stand out to you in this filing. Do you find it strange that the filing originally did not include Jay-Z, just Diddy, and now Jay-Z is suddenly added today? I mean, does that make Jay-Z's addition in any way less credible, or is this not in fact so unusual?
It's not unusual when they're still digging up information and facts to prove the allegations that they're trying to make. In addition, remember, this 13-year-old says there's a female there. That has not been disclosed either. That will be very interesting because she could be culpable in this as well.
Yeah, that is interesting. Do you expect we are going to be seeing other celebrity names added and refiled in other lawsuits involving Diddy?
I do. I think this really has a web that wraps around many different people, and I think we're going to see a lot more people named.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's going to happen too. Now, again, there is a possibility that these accusers could be opportunists in the sense that they're saying, okay, we're going to try to cast a wide net here and essentially accuse other people who seem to be close to Diddy, right? Like Jay-Z, okay? We're going to accuse them as well, too, right? And we're going to implicate them and throw them all in there and try to get some money, right? That could also be what's going on here. I don't know, right? I don't know, okay? All I know is that the allegations against Diddy are insane, right? And again, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more people are involved. That's all I'm saying, okay? And Jay-Z and Diddy, they have a long relationship going back decades. Wouldn't be surprised. Nothing would surprise me at this point, to be honest with you. But let's actually read Jay-Z's response, right? The whole response so we can get all the details about how he's responding to this. He says, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a quote-unquote lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? I mean, hey, all I'm saying is that the standard of proof for a criminal complaint is a lot higher, okay, than a civil one. And since this happened so long ago, it would probably be much harder to prove it in a criminal court rather than civil court.
Remember, Jaguar Wright said that Jay-Z was worse than Diddy because he was smarter, more cunning. Jay-Z would automatically say what he's saying, but he shouldn't say anything. He says, don't go civil, try me in criminal, because the standard with a criminal case after 25 years would be easier for him to attack, because one thing I notice about these people, They say a lot of things, but the key thing a person misses who doesn't pay attention to criminal cases and criminal law, they never say, I'm innocent. Because once you say that you're innocent, that can be used against you if you have knowledge or if you were there. It alleviates your ability to say there was mitigating circumstances or that you didn't participate. So they will never say, I'm innocent. I don't know anything about this. When you say that, if you didn't know anything about it, I don't know anything about what you're talking about, I'm innocent. That's the easiest thing to say.
These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Bugsby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for the family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to the true victims in the world who have to watch.
Again, all that talking when you could say, I'm innocent. I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about it. I'm innocent. I don't have to drag in my children or I'm innocent. I was not there. I don't know anything about what you're talking about. That's the easiest thing to say. I don't know.
How their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Okay, so yeah, this is again a very interesting response from Jay-Z. Again, I'm not saying here nor there whether or not this dude was actually involved. All I know is that I can't wait until more information comes out about who allegedly was involved. Okay. Also, on top of that, this is why I'm so excited about Cash Patel being the director of the FBI, because he has been very, very, very adamant about how there needs to be mass declassifications of certain documents, certain files, like JFK files, the Epstein files, the 9/11 files, and hopefully, again, we find out more about stuff like what's going on with Diddy and stuff like that, the Diddy list. Okay, I want to know all this stuff, right? I want to know everything.
To me, what you said is the most important. Restoring trust.
Yes.
In our agencies and departments. That the way to do that is not to get a piñata and just punch him mercilessly and hoping for some bubble gum to pop out. The way to do that is to literally give the American people the truth. And that's what they feared about Donald Trump. He's going to come in there and maybe give him the Epstein list and maybe give him the P. Diddy list. Yeah.
All right, that was Patel at the end. I'm cutting this video short because we went into the 30-minute zone. But we'll revisit this as more things unfold. But I just wanted people to pay attention to the nexus between the politicians, the celebrities, and the church now. How corruption has reached a fever pitch. You know, the Greeks used to censor music because they understood that music could be used for subversive purposes, to corrupt minds, throwing subtle suggestions into already weak minds through those octaves. You know, I know it may be hard for a lot of people to believe that there are people who use high science, and there's secret societies and Masons and Greeks and all these secret handshakes and secret things going on around you that is affecting you, your livelihood, your spirituality. I just think we should be more aware and pay attention. Well, this is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Support the nonprofit Detroit's Black Thought and Ash Collective. The cash apps in the description. As always, salute to all patriots. And keep your head on the swivel and pay attention. Everything is not a coincidence. Some things are a pattern. Peace.